Saturday morning in Hartley, Nebraska. A 22-year-old woman walks into First Nebraska Bank wearing boots held together with duct tape and a jacket that's seen 6 winters. She's asking for $5,000 to finish college. The new branch manager takes one look at her checking account, $31, and says no without asking another question. She doesn't argue, doesn't plead, just stands up, walks to the teller counter, and asks the woman who's known her since birth to pull up her other account. The one the manager didn't bother to check. The screen lights up. $11,247,382. The manager's face drains white. But the girl doesn't turn around to watch. She's already walking toward the door, knowing exactly what she just proved. Because sometimes the poorest-looking person in the room is the one nobody thought to really see, and what happens next will force an entire town. And a father who abandoned her 20 years ago to face a reckoning none of them saw coming. Saturday morning in Hartley, Nebraska. Population 2,400. The kind of town where everyone knows your name and half your business before you finish breakfast. Becca Morrison stands in front of First Nebraska Bank at 8:47 a.m., 13 minutes before they unlock the doors. She counts the bills in her wallet one more time. $31, 3 tens, 1 single. Enough for gas, and maybe lunch if she skips dinner. Which she's done before, will probably do again. Her hands tremble, not from the cold. November in Nebraska isn't that cruel yet. She trembles because this matters, because Christopher Blake, the new branch manager who transferred in 6 weeks ago from Omaha, is going to look at her checking account and see exactly what everyone in this town has always seen. Poor Becca Morrison works at Miller's Diner for $9 an hour plus tips. Lives in that drafty room above the hardware store for $250 a month. Wears the same 3 outfits on rotation. Hasn't bought new shoes in 2 years. The bank door clicks. Unlocked. Becca pushes through. The lobby smells like burnt coffee and printer toner. Brenda Wallace stands behind the teller counter arranging coin rolls. She's worked here 28 years. Knows every account number by heart. Remembers when Becca's mother, Margaret, brought her in at 6 months old to open her first savings account. Brenda looks up. Her smile falters for half a second. Because she knows why Becca is here. And she knows what's about to happen. Morning, honey. Morning, Mrs. Wallace. You here to see Christopher? Yes, ma'am. Brenda's eyes shift to the glass office in the back. Christopher Blake sits behind his desk in a crisp navy suit that probably cost more than Becca makes in 2 months, typing on his laptop, early 30s, clean-shaven. The kind of haircut you get in a city where they charge $40 just to use the scissors. He's expecting you? I called yesterday. Brenda nods, picks up the phone, presses 3 buttons. Christopher, Becca Morrison is here for her appointment. A pause. Yes, the loan application. Another pause. Brenda's jaw tightens. I'll send her back. She hangs up, looks at Becca. Something sad flickers across her face. Go on in, sweetheart. Becca crosses the lobby. Her boots leave faint dust prints on the dark blue carpet. She knocked the mud off outside, but Nebraska's dirt has a way of clinging. Like memory. Like poverty. Christopher stands when she reaches the doorway, extends his hand. Miss Morrison. Come in. His grip is firm, professional. The handshake of someone who learned it in business school and practices it in the mirror. Becca sits in the chair across from his desk. Leather, cold through her jeans. She sets her backpack on the floor. It's the same one she carried through 4 years of high school, and now 3.5 years of community college. Christopher settles back into his chair. Pulls up something on his computer screen. So, you're looking to borrow $5,000? Yes, sir. And this is for? He scans the application she filled out online. Final semester tuition at Hartley Community College. Yes, sir. Spring term starts January 6th. The bursar's office needs payment by December 15th or they drop my registration. Christopher nods, clicks his mouse a few times. His expression doesn't change, but Becca watches his eyes move across the screen, reading. Calculating. Here it comes. Your current checking account balance is, he pauses, $31. Yes, sir. And you have a savings account with, another pause, $412. Yes, sir. No credit cards on file. No, sir. No previous loans. No, sir. Christopher leans back, folds his hands on the desk. Not unkindly, just resigned. Like he's already written the ending to this conversation and now he's just getting through the script. Miss Morrison. Becca, I appreciate you coming in. But based on what I'm seeing here, your current financial profile doesn't support a $5,000 unsecured loan. Becca's chest tightens. She knew this was coming, rehearsed for it, but hearing it out loud still feels like a punch. I have a job. I work 30 hours a week. At Miller's Diner, yes. Part-time service work. That's not considered stable income for lending purposes. I've been there 6 years, which is commendable, but your reported annual income last year was $11,400. That's below the threshold for this loan amount. Becca swallows. Her throat feels like sandpaper. I could get a cosigner. Do you have someone in mind? She doesn't. Becca's grandmother Shirley would never cosign. Not because she doesn't care. Because Shirley Morrison doesn't believe in debt. Doesn't believe in handouts. Doesn't believe in making things easy, which is rich. Considering, I'll find someone. Christopher's expression softens slightly. Pity. That's what's creeping into his eyes now. Pity for the girl in the worn-out jacket who can't even scrape together $5,000 for college, Becca. I'm going to be honest with you. Even with a cosigner, this would be difficult. Your debt-to-income ratio is... I know what my ratio is. The words come out sharper than she intended. Christopher blinks. I'm not trying to be harsh. I'm trying to help you understand the bank's position. Becca stands. Too fast. The chair scrapes against the floor. Thank you for your time. Wait. It's fine. I appreciate you looking at the application. She grabs her backpack, turns toward the door. Becca, really, it's fine. She walks out. Doesn't look at Brenda. Doesn't look at the promotional posters on the walls. Doesn't look at the display of free lollipops by the coffee station. She walks straight to the teller counter. Plants both hands on the marble surface. Brenda glances up from her coin rolls. Reads Becca's face in half a second. Oh, honey, Mrs. Wallace. I need you to pull up my other account. Brenda freezes. Behind them, Christopher Blake emerges from his office, probably to offer some pamphlet about financial literacy classes or student aid resources. Probably to feel better about turning her down. Becca, wait. I wanted to give you some information about Mrs. Wallace. Becca doesn't take her eyes off Brenda. Please pull up the Morrison Family Trust. The air in the lobby changes. Brenda's hands stop moving. Her eyes widen, not shocked, not exactly. More like, here we go. Christopher steps closer. Confused, I'm sorry, what? Brenda types slowly, deliberately. The keyboard clicks echo in the sudden silence. Becca, are you sure? Yes, ma'am. 3 more keystrokes. Then Brenda turns her monitor. Not toward Becca, toward Christopher Blake, who is now standing 3 feet behind Becca. Close enough to see the screen clearly, Becca watches his face. Watches the exact moment comprehension hits. His eyes widen. His mouth opens slightly. His perfectly practiced professional composure cracks right down the middle. The screen reads, Morrison Family Trust Primary Account Holder. Shirley J. Morrison Beneficiary. Rebecca A. Morrison Current Balance. $11,247,382. $11,247,382.19. Christopher stares. Blinks. Stares again. Becca doesn't turn around. Doesn't give him the satisfaction. Thank you, Mrs. Wallace. Becca, I'll see you later. She walks toward the door. Christopher finds his voice. Wait, Miss Morrison. I wasn't aware. Becca stops. Turns halfway. Looks at him. You weren't aware that you should check the full customer profile before making decisions? Direct hit. Christopher's face goes red. That's not what It's fine, Mr. Blake. You looked at my boots and my backpack and my $31, and you made a choice. I just wanted you to know what that choice looked like. She pushes through the door. The November air hits her face. Cold, clean, sharp. Her fingers still tremble. But not from nerves anymore. Behind her, through the glass, she can see Christopher Blake standing frozen in the middle of the lobby. Brenda Wallace has turned her monitor back. Is probably already pulling up the full Morrison file. Probably already preparing to explain to the new branch manager exactly how badly he just screwed up. Becca walks to her truck. A 2003 Ford Ranger with rust on the fenders and a passenger door that doesn't quite close right. She climbs in, sits, breathes, her phone buzzes. Text from Shirley. How did it go? Becca stares at the message, types back. Exactly like you said it would. 3 dots appear, disappear. Appear again, come home. Becca starts the truck. It coughs twice before catching. She pulls out of the parking lot, takes Main Street East, past Miller's Diner, where she'll have to be back in 4 hours for the lunch shift. Past Hartley Community College, where her spring registration is currently in jeopardy, past the empty lot where the old community center used to stand before it burned down in 2019. 15 minutes later, she turns onto County Road 47. Gravel crunches under her tires. Cornfields stretch out on both sides. Harvested, stubble and dirt waiting for winter. The Morrison farm appears around the last curve, 320 acres. The house sits back from the road, white clapboard. Built in 1952. Needs paint, needs new gutters, needs a lot of things that Shirley Morrison will never spend money on. Because Shirley Morrison doesn't believe in showing off. Doesn't believe in wasting resources. Doesn't believe in looking like what she is. Which is a multi-millionaire. Becca parks next to the barn. Shirley's truck, a 2007 Ford F-150 with 200,000 miles on it, sits in its usual spot. The passenger door is held shut with baling wire. The tailgate doesn't latch anymore. The radio only picks up AM stations. Shirley could buy a new truck tomorrow. Could buy 10 new trucks. Could buy the whole damn dealership in Lincoln and still have money left over. She won't. Becca finds her in the backfield, fixing fence, wearing Carhartt overalls that are older than Becca, work gloves that have been patched 3 times, boots held together with duct tape and stubbornness. Shirley Morrison is 68 years old, 5'6", lean, weathered, gray hair pulled back in a braid that hangs to the middle of her back. She could pass for 50, could pass for 80, depends on the light and how tired she is. Right now, she looks somewhere in between. She straightens when she hears Becca approach, wipes her forehead with the back of her glove, leaves a streak of dirt. Well, Becca stops 10 feet away, crosses her arms. He said no, of course he did. You knew he would, I suspected. Then why did you make me go? Shirley sets down her hammer, looks at her granddaughter. Those pale blue eyes that miss nothing. That see through walls and excuses and 22 years of careful lies. Because you needed to see it. See what? That banks don't lend to poor people? I already knew that. You needed to see that people make assumptions. That they look at you and decide who you are before you open your mouth. I've known that my whole life. Knowing it and proving it are different things. Becca's hands clench into fists. The anger she kept bottled in the bank starts bubbling up. So this was a test? You wanted to see if I'd go through with it? No. I wanted you to understand what comes next. What comes next? What does that mean? Shirley picks up a new fence post, carries it to the hole she's dug, sets it in place, starts tamping dirt around the base. Sit down. We need to talk. I don't want to sit. I want you to explain why you've let me work my ass off for 6 years thinking we were broke. We're not broke. I know that now. The whole town is going to know it by lunchtime. Brenda Wallace probably already told half the church prayer chain. Shirley keeps tamping. Methodical. Patient. Then we better talk fast. Becca wants to scream. Wants to throw something. Wants to get back in her truck and drive somewhere far away where nobody knows her grandmother has $11 million hidden in a trust account. Instead, she sits on a pile of wood planks that need to be stacked, because even in the middle of a life-altering revelation, Shirley Morrison doesn't stop working. Shirley finishes securing the post, tests it with her weight. Satisfied, she walks over, sits next to Becca. They stare out at the empty field together. Your mother died when you were 3. Becca nods. She knows this story, knows it by heart. Margaret was a good woman. Best daughter-in-law I could have asked for. Your father didn't deserve her, Grandma. Let me finish. Shirley pulls off her gloves, folds them carefully, sets them beside her. Kenneth left when you were 2, just up and walked away. Said he was going to Chicago. Said he was going to make something of himself. Said this farm was a prison and I was the warden. The bitterness in Shirley's voice is old, worn smooth by years but still sharp underneath. Margaret tried to hold things together, tried to raise you alone, tried to forgive him. Then the cancer came. Stage 3 breast cancer. 25 years old. 25. Becca swallows hard. She doesn't remember her mother's face, doesn't remember her voice. Just fragments, a perfume smell. A song hummed at bedtime. The feeling of being held. I called Kenneth when Margaret was in hospice. Told him his wife was dying. Told him his daughter needed him. He said he couldn't come back. Said he was in the middle of a business deal. Said he'd visit once things settled down. Shirley's jaw tightens. Margaret died on a Tuesday. Kenneth called on Friday. Asked if the funeral was over yet. Silence. Just wind across the stubble field and a crow cawing somewhere distant. I hung up on him. Haven't spoken to him since. That was 20 years ago. Becca knows this part too. Knows that her father is out there somewhere. Chicago, probably. Living whatever life he built for himself after he abandoned his family. So I raised you. Brought you here. Decided that I was going to teach you what your father never learned. Which is what? That money doesn't make you strong. Struggle does. That character isn't built in comfort. That the only way to know what you're made of is to be tested. Becca turns to look at her grandmother. So you let me struggle. On purpose? Yes. You watched me work 6 years for $9 an hour. Yes. Watched me worry about tuition. Yes. Watched me eat ramen for dinner 4 nights a week. Yes. Why? Shirley meets her eyes. Doesn't flinch. Because I needed to know you wouldn't turn out like him. I needed to know that if I gave you everything, you wouldn't waste it. That you'd understand the value of it. You could have just told me. Would you have believed me? Or would you have thought it was easy money? A shortcut? Becca doesn't answer. Because she doesn't know. Shirley stands. Pulls an envelope from her back pocket. Holds it out. What's that? Open it. Becca takes the envelope. The paper is thick. Expensive. Legal letterhead embossed at the top. Inside, documents. Trust documents. Her name listed as beneficiary. Terms and conditions typed in dense legalese. But one section is highlighted in yellow. Handwritten notes in the margin in Shirley's cramped script. Conditions for full inheritance. 1. Graduate from Hartley Community College with minimum 3.0 GPA 2. Demonstrate financial independence for minimum 24 consecutive months 3. Maintain employment without drawing from trust funds 4. Locate Kenneth Morrison, last known address. Chicago, Illinois 5. Bring Kenneth Morrison to Hartley, Nebraska 6. Witness Kenneth Morrison apologize publicly to Shirley Morrison. Becca reads it twice. 3 times. You're joking, I'm not. You want me to find my father. The father who abandoned me. The father who didn't come to his own wife's funeral. And you want me to bring him here and make him apologize to you. In public? Yes. Why? Shirley sits back down. Heavier this time. Tired because I'm 68 years old, Becca. I'm healthy now, but that doesn't last forever. And before I die, I need 2 things, which are, I need to know this family is whole again. Even if whole means broken pieces glued back together. And I need to know that you understand forgiveness isn't about the person who hurt you. It's about not carrying that weight anymore. Becca stares at the documents, at the highlighted section, at the impossible task laid out in numbered points. What if I can't find him? You'll find him. What if he won't come back? You'll convince him. What if I refuse to do this? Shirley looks at her. No anger, no disappointment. Just calm certainty. Then you wait until you're 25. That's when the trust transfers automatically. 3 more years. You can do whatever you want with those 3 years. Work, travel, live your life. But if you want this money now, if you want to use it to finish school and build something and help people, you have to earn it by finding a man who doesn't want to be found, by facing the hardest thing I can ask you to face, and proving you're strong enough to do it anyway. Becca folds the documents, slides them back into the envelope. Her hands have stopped trembling. That's something. When do I start? Whenever you're ready. What if I'm never ready? Shirley smiles. Small, sad. Then you're not the granddaughter I raised. They sit together until the sun shifts. Until the shadows stretch long across the field. Until Becca's phone buzzes with a reminder that her shift starts in 90 minutes. She stands. Brushes dirt off her jeans. I need to think about this. Take your time. How much time do I have? As much as you need. But tuition is due December 15th. And if you're not registered for spring, you'll have to wait until next fall. 6 weeks. Becca has 6 weeks to decide if she's going to hunt down a ghost. She walks back to her truck, envelope in hand. Weight settling into her chest like stones. Behind her, Shirley returns to the fence, picks up her hammer, continues working. Because work doesn't stop for feelings. Doesn't stop for revelations. Doesn't stop for anything. Becca drives back toward town, takes the long way. Past the high school where she graduated 4 years ago. Past the cemetery where her mother is buried under a simple granite marker. Past the bank where Christopher Blake is probably still trying to process what just happened. Her phone rings. Unknown number. She almost doesn't answer. Then curiosity wins. Hello, Miss Morrison? This is Christopher Blake. From First Nebraska Bank. Becca considers hanging up. Decides against it, yes? I wanted to apologize for this morning. I should have reviewed your full customer profile before making a determination. That was unprofessional. Okay, a pause. She can hear him breathing. Gathering courage. I also wanted to let you know that if you'd still like to apply for that loan, I'd be happy to fast-track the approval. Given you're given the Morrison Family Trust, you're obviously well qualified for. No thank you, I'm sorry? I said no thank you, Mr. Blake, but I don't need a loan anymore. Turns out I have other options. Of course you do. I just wanted to offer. I appreciate it. Really, but I'm good. She hangs up. Doesn't feel guilty. Doesn't feel victorious. Just feels tired. Miller's Diner sits on the corner of Main and 3rd. Red neon sign, chrome trim. Vinyl booths that have been reupholstered 6 times since 1987. Becca parks out back. Changes into her work uniform in the truck. Black pants, white button-up, apron with Miller's embroidered across the front. She ties her hair back. Checks her reflection in the rearview mirror. Same face. Same tired eyes. Same girl who's been slinging hash browns and refilling coffee since she was 16. Except now everyone knows. Knows she's not just poor Becca Morrison. Knows there's $11 million sitting in an account with her name on it. Knows she's been lying by omission for 22 years. The dinner rush is already starting when she walks through the back door. Nicole Torres, another waitress, 34, 3 kids, divorced. Glances up from the coffee station. Hey, you okay? You look weird. I'm fine, you sure? Because Marjorie from the bank called Linda 10 minutes ago and said something crazy happened this morning and… I'm fine, Nicole. Nicole narrows her eyes. Skeptical. But the bell dings in the kitchen and she grabs 2 plates and hustles to table 7. Linda Martinez stands behind the counter. Owner, manager, head cook when things get busy. 62 years old. Ran track in high school and still moves like it. She watches Becca clock in. Doesn't say anything. Just watches Becca grabs an order pad. Starts taking drink orders at table 3. Sweet tea, coffee, chocolate milk for the kid. Normal, easy, familiar. Except every person in the diner is staring. Mrs. Henderson at the counter. Mr. Yates in booth 4. The Thompson family by the window. They all know. Of course they know. This is Hartley. News travels faster than storm clouds. Becca takes orders, delivers food, refills drinks, moves through the motions with muscle memory. At 6:47 p.m., the bell above the door jingles. Becca glances up. Christopher Blake walks in, still wearing his suit. Looks uncomfortable, like he's never been in a diner where people actually eat instead of just networking. He spots Becca, makes eye contact. Nods. She nods back, grabs a menu, leads him to booth 6. Coffee? Please, she pours. Sets down the menu, pulls out her order pad. Do you know what you want or do you need a minute? Christopher looks up at her. Really looks. Like he's seeing her for the first time. I owe you a real apology. You gave me one on the phone. That wasn't enough. Becca clicks her pen. Waits, I made a judgment this morning based on incomplete information. That was wrong. And I need you to know. It wasn't personal, felt personal, I know. And I'm sorry. Becca meets his eyes. Sees genuine regret there. Also embarrassment. Also fear that she's going to report him to his regional manager. Which she could. But won't. Apology accepted. Now do you want to order or are you just here to ease your conscience? A small smile tugs at his mouth. Burger, medium. Fries, anything else? Just, he hesitates. I'd like to make this right. If there's any way I can help with your education expenses. Or, I don't need your help, Mr. Blake. Christopher, I don't need your help, Christopher. She turns to walk away. He stops her. For what it's worth. I think what your grandmother is doing is incredible. Becca pauses. What do you mean? Teaching you the value of money by making you earn everything yourself. That takes real courage. Most people with that kind of wealth would just hand it over. He has no idea. No idea about the conditions, the impossible task. The father-shaped hole in Becca's past that Shirley wants her to fill. Yeah. She's something else. Becca delivers his order 20 minutes later. He eats, pays, leaves a $20 tip on a $15 check. She pockets the money, adds it to the envelope in her backpack. The envelope that currently holds $280 in tips from the past month. The envelope that was supposed to be her tuition fund. Before she learned about $11 million she can't touch. 9 p.m. The dinner rush dies down. Nicole takes over the last few tables. Becca clocks out, changes back into her street clothes, drives to the room above Miller's Hardware, $250 a month. Studio apartment, 1 window. Bathroom down the hall she shares with 3 other tenants. Hot plate. Mini fridge. Mattress on the floor home. She drops her backpack, sits on the mattress, Pulls out her laptop, opens it, types into Google, Kenneth Morrison, Chicago, Illinois, 3 results. 2 she can eliminate immediately. Wrong age. 1 possibility. Kenneth R. Morrison, age 45. Last known address listed on a White Pages website from 2019. Becca copies the address into Google Maps. 1847 West Division Street. Apartment 3B, 537 miles. 8 hours and 12 minutes. Straight shot down Interstate 80. She could leave tomorrow. Drive there. Knock on the door. See if the man who left her 20 years ago is still living in the same crappy apartment. Or she could ignore all of this. Let Shirley keep her conditions and her tests and her need for reconciliation. Wait 3 years. Take the money with no strings, except Shirley is 68, and healthy people still die. And 3 years is a long time when you're talking about someone you love. Becca closes the laptop, lies back on the mattress, stares at the water stain on the ceiling that looks like a map of Texas. Her phone buzzes. Text from Shirley, dinner tomorrow, 6 p.m. Don't be late. Becca types back, I'll be there. Sunday dinner at the Morrison farm is tradition. Has been since Becca moved in at age 3, every week. No exceptions. Pot roast or fried chicken or pork chops. Mashed potatoes, green beans from the garden. Pie if Shirley had time to bake. Becca arrives at 5:53 p.m., parks next to Shirley's truck. The house smells like roast beef and onions. Shirley stands at the stove, stirring gravy. Doesn't turn around when Becca walks in. Set the table. Becca pulls plates from the cabinet, forks and knives from the drawer. 2 place settings. Same as always. Shirley brings the food to the table. They sit. Say grace. A habit Shirley maintains even though neither of them has been to church in 5 years. They eat in silence for 10 minutes. Then Shirley sets down her fork. I talked to Thomas Bradley yesterday. Becca swallows her bite of roast. Thomas Bradley is Shirley's lawyer. Has been for 30 years. About what? About the trust. About the conditions. About what happens if you choose to pursue this, and he said it's ironclad. The terms are clear. If you fulfill them before you turn 25, the money transfers to you immediately. If you don't, you wait until 25 and it transfers automatically. What if I fulfill some of them but not all? Doesn't count. It's all or nothing. Becca cuts another piece of meat. Choose slowly. What if I find Kenneth and he refuses to come back? Then you convince him. What if he's dead? Shirley's face doesn't change, but something flickers in her eyes. Fear, maybe, or grief she's never processed. Then we'll deal with that. But I don't think he is. Why not? Because I pay a private investigator to check on him every 3 years. Last report was 2023. He's alive. Living in Chicago, working night security at some warehouse. Becca sets down her fork. You've known where he is this whole time? Yes. And you never told me? No. Why? Because it wasn't time. Because you weren't ready. Because I needed you to choose this, not have it forced on you. The anger rises again, hot and sharp. So everything is a test with you. Everything is a lesson. When do I get to just live my life without you controlling it? Shirley doesn't flinch. When you prove you can handle it, Becca stands, throws her napkin on the table. I'm 22 years old. I've lived on my own since I was 18. I've worked since I was 16. I've made straight A's for 4 years. What else do I have to prove? That you can face the thing that scares you most. That you can forgive the unforgivable. That you can be bigger than your pain. This isn't about me being bigger than anything. This is about you needing closure with your son. It's about both. Well, maybe I don't want to give you closure. Maybe I don't care if Kenneth Morrison spends the rest of his life in Chicago regretting his choices. Maybe I'm fine with him staying a ghost. Shirley stands too. Slower, older, but steady. Then you're lying to yourself. Because I see the way you look at families in church. At daughters with fathers. At people who have something you never got. And I know it eats at you. Same way it eats at me. Becca's throat tightens. You don't know what I feel. I raised you, child. I know exactly what you feel. They stand across the table from each other. Grandmother and granddaughter. 2 stubborn women who refuse to bend. Finally, Becca breaks the silence. I need to go. You haven't finished dinner. I'm not hungry anymore. She grabs her coat, her keys, walks toward the door. Shirley calls after her. Becca, she stops. Doesn't turn around. I love you. That's why I'm doing this. Not to hurt you. To set you free. Becca doesn't answer. Just walks out. Lets the screen door slam behind her. She drives back to her apartment. Parks. Sits in the truck. Cries for her mother who died too young. For her father who left too easily. For her grandmother, who loves her in the most infuriating way possible. For herself at 22 with $11 million she can't touch, and a future that depends on facing a past she wants to forget. Her phone buzzes. Text from Nicole, "You working tomorrow?" Becca wipes her eyes. Types back, "Yeah. Noon to 8, 3 dots appear, good. Because Linda wants to talk to you about something." She didn't say what, but she looked serious. Great. Exactly what Becca needs right now. She climbs out of the truck, walks upstairs, unlocks her door. The laptop sits on the floor where she left it, still open to the Google search, still showing Kenneth Morrison's address. Becca picks it up, sits on the mattress, opens a new tab, types, "Bus tickets Lincoln to Chicago." Several options appear. Greyhound, Megabus, various departure times. She clicks on one, 14-hour trip. Leaves at 10 p.m., arrives 12:15 p.m. the next day, $39. Becca looks at her bank account, $31. Plus the $280 in tips, $311 total. She has enough. Barely. But if she goes, she needs to tell Shirley, needs to tell Linda she's taking time off, needs to actually figure out what she's going to say to a man she hasn't seen in 20 years. "Hi, Dad. Remember me? The daughter you abandoned? Yeah, I need you to come back to Nebraska and apologize to your mother in front of the entire town so I can collect my inheritance. Cool? Cool. No, not cool. None of this is cool." Becca closes the laptop, sets it aside, lies down. Tomorrow she'll decide. Tomorrow she'll figure out if she's brave enough or desperate enough or stupid enough to chase a ghost. Tonight she just needs to sleep. Monday morning arrives cold and gray. Becca wakes at 6:30 to her phone vibrating. Text from Linda, "Come in early if you can. Need to talk before the rush." Becca drags herself out of bed. Showers at the community center. $2 in quarters, water that never gets hot enough. She dresses in her work uniform. Drives to the diner by 7 a.m. Linda is already there. Always is. Opening checklist started at 5:30. Coffee brewing. Grill preheating. Register counted. She looks up when Becca walks in. Sit. Not good. Linda only uses one-word commands when things are serious. Becca slides into a booth. Linda pours 2 coffees. Sits across from her. "Nicole told me about Saturday. The bank. Your grandmother." Becca wraps both hands around the mug. It's complicated. Everything with Shirley Morrison is complicated. Linda takes a sip. Studies Becca over the rim. "Is it true? 11 million? Yes, and you didn't know. Not until Saturday." Linda sets down her cup. "Becca, I've known you since you were 16. Watched you work double shifts to save for books. Watched you skip meals to make rent. And the whole time your grandmother had." She stops. Shakes her head. "I don't know whether to be impressed or furious. Join the club. What are you going to do?" "I don't know yet. Are you quitting?" The question hangs there. Sharp. Direct. Becca hasn't thought that far ahead. Hasn't thought past the impossible conditions. Past finding Kenneth. Past the weight of choice pressing down on her chest. The money has strings attached. "I can't just take it." What kind of strings? Family things. Personal things. Linda nods. Doesn't push, well. Until you figure it out, you've got a job here. "But Becca," she pauses. "Don't stay because you think you have to. Don't stay out of guilt or habit or because you're afraid of change." "I'm not afraid of change. Everyone's afraid of change. The question is whether you're brave enough to choose it anyway." The door chimes. First customer of the day, Mr. Yates. Same booth. Same order. Coffee. 2 eggs. Wheat toast. Linda stands. "Think about it." "That's all I'm asking." She walks away. Leaves Becca sitting in the booth with cold coffee and a question she doesn't know how to answer. Becca's shift starts at noon. She has 5 hours to kill. She drives to the cemetery, parks near the east gate, walks past rows of headstones, some new, some weathered, some forgotten. Margaret's grave is in the 3rd row. Simple marker, granite, worn by 20 years of Nebraska weather. Margaret Ellen Morrison, 1979-2005, beloved wife and mother. Becca sits in the dead grass, brown, brittle, waiting for spring that's still months away. "Hi, Mom." The words feel inadequate. Talking to stone, but she doesn't know where else to go. "Your husband might be coming back. Shirley's making me find him. Some kind of reconciliation project disguised as inheritance conditions." Wind picks up. Cold. Biting. "He left you. Left me. And now I'm supposed to hunt him down and drag him home so he can apologize to the whole town. I don't know if that's justice or cruelty or both." A crow lands on a nearby headstone. Watches Becca with dark eyes. "Shirley says you forgave him, that you told her to tell him." "I don't know if that's true. Don't know if you really meant it. or if you were just being kind because you were dying. The crow caws once, flies away. But here's what I do know. I'm tired of carrying this, tired of wondering what he's like, tired of pretending I don't care that he left. So maybe I'll find him, maybe I won't. But either way, I need you to know, I'm doing this for me, not for Shirley, not for him. For me, she sits until her legs go numb, until the sun climbs higher, until her phone alarm reminds her she's due at work in 30 minutes. She stands, brushes dirt from her jeans. I'll come back. Tell you how it went. If I survive, she walks back to her truck, doesn't look back. Wednesday afternoon. Becca is wiping down tables when the bell above the door chimes. She glances up. A man walks in, mid-40s, thin, too thin, gray at the temples, lines around his eyes like someone carved them with a knife, wearing a jacket that's seen better days, jeans with holes at the knees, boots held together with duct tape. He takes a seat at the counter, doesn't look at the menu. Becca approaches, coffee pot in hand. Coffee? He glances up, their eyes meet. Everything stops, because Becca knows this face. Knows it from one photograph. One single photograph that Shirley keeps in a frame on the mantle, even though she never talks about the person in it. Kenneth Morrison sits 3 feet away from his daughter and doesn't recognize her. Becca's hand shakes. Coffee sloshes in the pot. Coffee? Her voice comes out strangled, foreign. Kenneth nods. Please, she pours. Spills a few drops on the counter, wipes them quickly. Do you know what you want, or do you need a minute? Kenneth picks up the menu, studies it like it contains answers to questions he's afraid to ask. What's good here? Everything. Depends what you're hungry for. I haven't eaten since yesterday morning. The admission comes out quiet. Ashamed Becca sets down the coffee pot. Burger. Fries, pie. I'll bring you pie. I didn't order pie. It's on the house. She walks away before he can protest. Before she can say something stupid like, do you know who I am? Or why are you here? Or how dare you show your face in this town? Linda works the grill. Becca puts in the order with trembling fingers. You okay? Fine. You look like you saw a ghost. Close. So close. The burger takes 12 minutes. Becca plates it, adds fries, cuts a slice of apple pie, carries everything to the counter. Kenneth looks up when she sets it down. His eyes are brown, same as Becca's, same as Margaret's were in the pictures. Shirley keeps in a box under her bed. Thank you. You're welcome. He picks up the burger, takes a bite, closes his eyes like it's the best thing he's ever tasted. Becca refills his coffee, watches him eat, tries to reconcile this hollow-eyed stranger with the man who walked away from his family 20 years ago. He finishes the burger. The fries. Half the pie. Can I get the check? Becca pulls out her order pad, writes up the ticket, sets it face down on the counter. Kenneth reaches for his wallet, pulls out a few crumpled bills. Counts them twice. Is 15 enough? The meal costs $12.50. It's enough. He leaves the bills on the counter, stands to go. Becca's mouth moves before her brain catches up. Why are you here? Kenneth stops, turns back. Excuse me in Hartley. Why are you here? His face does something complicated. Confusion, suspicion, fear. I'm looking for someone. Who? My mother, Shirley Morrison. Someone told me she still lives here. The diner goes quiet. Or maybe it's just Becca's hearing shutting down. Hard to tell. Shirley Morrison is my grandmother. Kenneth's face drains of color. He stops, swallows. Becca? Yes, silence. Crushing, awful. Kenneth sits back down, heavily, like his legs stopped working. You're Becca. My daughter. That's what they tell me. He stares at her, really stares. Seeing her for the first time, you look like Margaret. I wouldn't know. I was 3 when she died. Direct hit. Kenneth flinches. I'm sorry. I should have. I wanted to come to the funeral, but what? You were busy? You had a business deal? You couldn't be bothered? Every customer in the diner is watching now. Linda has stopped cooking. Nicole has frozen mid-step with a coffee pot in her hand. Kenneth's fingers tremble against the counter. I was afraid. Of what? Of seeing her in a casket. Of facing my mother. Of looking at you and knowing I'd failed you. So you just didn't come. I made the worst choice I've ever made. And I've made a lot of bad choices. Becca wants to scream. Wants to throw something. Wants to grab this man by his wrinkled collar and shake him until he makes sense. Instead, she unties her apron. Drops it on the counter. Linda. I need to go. Linda nods. Doesn't argue. Becca grabs her coat, her backpack, walks toward the door. Kenneth stands. Wait, please. I came here to see my mother. To apologize. To try to make things right. Becca stops at the door. Doesn't turn around. You're 20 years too late for making things right. She pushes outside. Cold air hits her face. She gasps, breathes, tries not to fall apart in the middle of Main Street. Behind her, the door opens. Kenneth follows. Becca, please. Just 5 minutes. I don't owe you 5 minutes, I know. But I'm asking anyway. She turns, faces him. This stranger with her eyes. What do you want? I want to see my mother. I want to apologize to her. I want to. He hesitates. I want to know if there's any chance she'd forgive me. Why now? Why after 20 years? Kenneth looks down at his hands, worn, scarred, shaking slightly. Because I'm sick. Because I'm 45 and I feel like I'm 70. Because I work nights at a warehouse and live in a one-room apartment. And I haven't talked to my family in 2 decades. Because I finally realized that pride is a terrible thing to die with. Becca studies his face, looking for lies, looking for manipulation, finding only exhaustion. She knows you're here? No. How did you even know to come? I hired a private investigator 3 months ago to find out if my mother was still alive, if she still lived in Hartley. He gave me the address 2 weeks ago. Took me that long to save enough for gas money. You drove from Chicago? I drove from Chicago. In what? He gestures to a car parked across the street. 1998 Honda Civic. Rust on the doors. Crack across the windshield. Held together by duct tape and wishful thinking. Becca almost laughs. Almost. Because this is too absurd. Too perfectly timed. Her father shows up the same week. Shirley asks her to find him. Which means either this is the universe's idea of a joke or Shirley orchestrated this whole thing. Did she contact you? Who? Shirley. My grandmother. Your mother. Did she reach out to you? Kenneth shakes his head. I haven't heard from her since Margaret's funeral. When I didn't show up. When I called 3 days later and she hung up on me. Truth. Becca can see it in his eyes. Whatever else Kenneth Morrison is, he's not lying about this. Where are you staying? My car. For how long? Until I talk to her. Or until she tells me to leave. Whichever comes first. Becca pulls out her phone. Types a message to Shirley. Kenneth is here. In Hartley. At the diner. What do you want me to do? The response comes in 30 seconds. Bring him to the farm. Becca shows Kenneth the message. His face goes pale. Now? Now. I'm not ready. You drove 8 hours. You're as ready as you're going to get. He wraps his arms around himself. Trying to hold together. What if she won't see me? Then you drive back to Chicago and you've wasted a tank of gas. What if she does see me and it goes badly? Then at least you tried. Kenneth looks at her. Really looks. And for the first time since walking into the diner, there's something like hope in his eyes. Will you come with me? Why would I do that? Because you're her granddaughter. Because she'll listen to you. Because I don't think I can face her alone. Every instinct tells Becca to say no. To let this man crash and burn on his own. To watch from a safe distance while he tries to reconcile with a woman who has every right to slam the door in his face. But there's a small voice in the back of her mind. The part that still remembers being 2 years old. Being held by someone who smelled like motor oil and coffee. Being told a story about a dragon and a princess before being tucked into bed. That voice whispers, give him a chance. Becca hates that voice. Fine, follow me. She walks to her truck. Kenneth gets in his Civic. The engine turns over on the 3rd try. Black smoke coughs from the exhaust. They drive out of town. Becca in front, Kenneth following. Past the high school. Past the cemetery. Past the turnoff for County Road 47. 15 minutes later, they pull up to the Morrison farm. Shirley stands on the porch, waiting, like she knew they were coming, which she probably did because Shirley Morrison always knows Becca parks. Gets out. Kenneth kills his engine, doesn't get out. Just sits behind the wheel staring at the house. Shirley walks down the porch steps. Slow, deliberate. Stops 10 feet from Kenneth's car. Becca stands between them. Referee. Witness, unwilling participant in a reunion that should have happened 20 years ago. Kenneth finally opens the car door, steps out, stands. Mother and son face each other across a decade of silence. Shirley speaks first. You're late. Kenneth's voice breaks. I know. 20 years late, I know. Margaret is dead. You missed her funeral. You missed Becca growing up. You missed everything, I know. Shirley's jaw tightens. Her hands clench into fists. Why now? Because I'm dying. The words land like stones. Shirley doesn't move. Dying of what? Diabetes. Type 2. Uncontrolled for years. Damaged my kidneys. Damaged my heart. Doctor says I've got maybe 5 years if I'm lucky. Maybe 2 if I'm not. And you want what? Forgiveness? Absolution? I want to apologize. I want you to know I'm sorry. For leaving. For being a coward. For thinking money and success mattered more than family. Shirley steps closer. Did you make your fortune? No. Did you become successful? No. Did you find whatever it was you thought was more important than your wife and daughter? No. Then what did you find? Kenneth's face crumples. Nothing. I found nothing. I wasted 20 years chasing nothing. Shirley looks at him. Hard, unflinching, good. I hope it hurt. I hope every single day you spent alone in Chicago hurt. Kenneth nods. It did. Good. Silence. Just wind through bare trees and a crow calling somewhere distant. Shirley turns to Becca. Take him inside. Give him coffee. I need to finish the fence. She walks away, back toward the field, leaving Kenneth standing next to his failing car looking like he might collapse. Becca gestures toward the house. Come on. They go inside. The kitchen smells like wood smoke and old coffee. Becca pours 2 cups, sets them on the table. Kenneth sits across from her, wraps both hands around the mug like he's trying to absorb its warmth. She hates me. She should. I don't blame her. Neither do I. Kenneth drinks his coffee, winces. Too hot. You have every right to hate me too. I don't hate you. I don't know you well enough to hate you. That lands harder than any accusation could. Kenneth sets down his mug. Tell me about yourself. Why? Because you're my daughter and I don't know anything about you. Becca laughs. Bitter. You want the highlights? I'm 22. I work at Miller's Diner. I'm 3 credits away from an associate degree in accounting. I live in a studio apartment that costs $250 a month. I've never been outside Nebraska. I don't remember my mother's voice. And until 3 days ago, I thought I was poor. Kenneth processes this. But you're not. No. Turns out my grandmother has $11 million hidden in a trust fund, which I can't touch unless I complete a series of increasingly impossible tasks. What kind of tasks? Find you. Bring you back to Hartley. Make you apologize to Shirley in front of the whole town. Kenneth's eyes widen. She told you to find me? Yes. When? Saturday, 3 days ago. Yes, and then I showed up on my own. Yes. Kenneth leans back, stares at the ceiling. That's either the universe's idea of irony or your grandmother is the most terrifying woman alive. Both. Definitely both. He looks at her again. So what happens now? I don't know. Shirley makes the rules. I just follow them or don't. What do you want to happen? No one has asked Becca that question. Not Shirley, not Linda, not even herself. What does she want? She wants her mother back. She wants her father to not have left. She wants to be a normal 22-year-old, worrying about loans, but instead of impossible reconciliations. None of those things are possible. I want you to tell me why you left. Kenneth takes a long breath. Your mother and I got married young. I was 22. She was 21. We were in love. Or thought we were. Hard to tell the difference at that age. He stares into his coffee. I worked construction. Made decent money. We rented a little house in town. Had you? Life was good. Simple. Then my mother offered us the farm. Said we could live there. Work the land. Eventually inherit it. I said yes. Margaret said yes. We moved in when you were one. His grip tightens around the mug, but I hated it. Hated waking up at 4 a.m. Hated the endless work. Hated living under my mother's roof, feeling like a child. I wanted my own life, my own success. So I told Shirley we should sell. Use the money to invest in something bigger. She said no. She said the land had been in the family for 70 years. Said it was worth more than money. Said I didn't understand what I was asking. You got angry. I got furious. Accused her of controlling me, of keeping me small, of not believing in me. And you left. I left. Told Margaret to pack up, that we were moving to Chicago, that I'd find work, make real money, give you a better life. His voice cracks. Margaret wouldn't come. Said she couldn't leave Shirley alone. Said the farm was your heritage. Said I was being selfish, so you left without her. So I left without her. And you. Because I thought, God, I thought I was doing the right thing. Thought I'd make it big and come back triumphant and prove everyone wrong. He drains his coffee. Instead I failed. Lost everything I invested. Went bankrupt. Lost Margaret to cancer while I was too proud to come home. Lost you to my own stupidity. Becca should feel sorry for him. Should feel compassion. Instead she just feels tired. You could have called. I did. Once. After Margaret died. Shirley answered. I tried to apologize. She told me. Margaret's last words were, tell Kenneth I forgive him. Then she hung up, and you never called back. What was I supposed to say? Your mother is dead. I wasn't there. Nothing I could say would fix that. You could have tried, I know. I should have. I was too ashamed. Too broken. Too convinced I'd destroyed everything. The back door opens. Shirley walks in. Dirty, tired, she washes her hands at the sink. Doesn't look at Kenneth. You're staying in the barn. Kenneth blinks. What? The barn has a cot, sleeping bag, space heater. You'll stay there. I can't. You can. You will. Because you drove 8 hours and you're sick and I'm not sending you back to Chicago tonight. She dries her hands. Finally looks at him. Tomorrow we talk. Tonight you sleep. Understood? Kenneth nods. Mute. Shirley turns to Becca. You're staying too. I have work tomorrow. Call in sick. I can't just call. In. Sick, not a suggestion. A command. Becca pulls out her phone. Texts Linda. Can't come in tomorrow. Family emergency. Linda responds immediately. I figured. Take all the time you need. Shirley pulls a casserole from the refrigerator. Left over from Sunday. Heats it in the oven. Sets 3 plates on the table. They eat in silence. Kenneth tries to make conversation twice. Gives up both times when no one responds. After dinner, Shirley shows Kenneth to the barn. Becca follows. Watches her grandmother unlock the side door. Flip on a light. Reveal a space that's cleaner than Becca expected. Cot with blankets. Small table. Chair. Camping lantern. Everything organized. Prepared. Like Shirley knew someone would need it. Kenneth sets down his duffel bag. Thank you. Shirley nods. Turns to leave. Mom. She stops. Doesn't turn around. I'm sorry. For everything. I know it doesn't fix anything. But I need you to hear it. Shirley's shoulders tighten. I've waited 20 years to hear you say that. Thought it would feel better than it does. Does it feel like anything? It feels like too little too late, but it's a start. She walks out. Becca lingers. Kenneth sits on the cot. Looks around his temporary quarters. Your grandmother is terrifying. You're just now figuring that out? I forgot. In 20 years I forgot how she can look at you and make you feel 6 inches tall. She's had a lot of practice. Becca moves toward the door. Kenneth stops her. Becca. I know I have no right to ask this, but is there any chance at all, that you might forgive me someday? She considers lying. Considers saying something comforting. Decides on truth instead. I don't know. Ask me again in 20 years and we'll see if you're still here. She leaves him sitting in the barn. Walks back to the house. Finds Shirley in the kitchen washing dishes. You knew he was coming. Shirley doesn't deny it. The investigator called last week. Said Kenneth had contacted him. Asked about me. I figured it was only a matter of time. You could have warned me. Where's the lesson in that? This isn't a lesson. This is my life. Shirley sets down the dish she's washing. Turns to face Becca. Your life is about to change. One way or another. The question is whether you're going to face it head on or spend the rest of your existence running from hard things. I'm not running. Then what are you doing? I'm trying to figure out if forgiving someone who doesn't deserve it is strength or stupidity. Shirley dries her hands. It's both. And that's what makes it worth doing. She hands Becca a towel. Dry. They finish the dishes together. Don't talk. Just work. The way they've done 1,000 times before. When the last plate is stacked, Shirley pours 2 glasses of whiskey. Slides one across the table to Becca. I don't drink. Tonight you do. Becca takes the glass. Sips. Cocks. Burns. Shirley drinks hers in one swallow. Your mother loved him. Even after he left. Even when she was as dying. She made me promise to tell him she forgave him. You told him. I told him. And then I hung up because I couldn't stand to hear his voice. Couldn't stand to offer comfort to someone who abandoned his family. Do you regret it? Every day. Because Margaret asked me to do one thing and I did it halfway. Because I let my anger win. Because I'm just as stubborn as he is. Shirley refills her glass. That's why I need you to do this. Need you to finish what I started. Need you to prove that this family can heal. What if we can't? Then we can't. But at least we'll know we tried. Becca drinks more whiskey. The burn becomes warmth. He says he's dying. I know. You believe him? I saw how thin he is. Saw the medication bottles in his bag. Saw his hands shake. Yes, I believe him. Does that change anything? Shirley stares into her glass. It changes everything. And nothing. He's still the man who left. But now he's the dying man who left. Which means I have less time to hold a grudge. They sit in silence. Drinking. Thinking. Finally, Shirley speaks again. Next Sunday. I'm calling a town meeting. 1 week from this coming Sunday. What for? Kenneth's apology. The one he owes me. The one he owes this town. The one that will complete your conditions. Becca sets down her glass. You're serious. Completely. You're going to make him apologize in front of everyone. That's the deal. What if he refuses? Then you don't get your inheritance and he goes back to Chicago. Simple. Nothing about this is simple. Shirley stands. rinses her glass, sets it in the dish rack. Life is only as complicated as you make it. You want the money. You bring Kenneth to the meeting. You witness the apology. You get what's yours. Everything else is just noise. She walks toward the stairs. Stops halfway. Your room is ready. Same as always. Get some sleep. Tomorrow we have work to do. Becca climbs the stairs to the room she grew up in. Single bed. Dresser. Window overlooking the fields. Nothing has changed. Same quilt. Same curtains. Same stuffed rabbit sitting on the pillow. She picks up the rabbit. Margaret gave it to her. Or so Shirley claims. Becca doesn't remember. Just knows she's had it her entire life. She lies down. Still dressed. Stares at the ceiling. Different water stain. Different cracks. Same feeling of being trapped. Her phone buzzes. Text from Nicole. Everyone at the diner is talking about your dad. You okay? Becca types back. Define okay. 3 dots, fair point. Let me know if you need anything, thanks. Becca sets the phone on the nightstand. Closes her eyes to sleep, doesn't come, just replays. Kenneth's face when he recognized her. Shirley's face when she saw her son. The weight of 20 years of silence collapsing into one impossible week. Somewhere outside, Kenneth Morrison sleeps in a barn. Or tries to. Probably lying awake wondering if he made the right choice coming back. Probably terrified of what tomorrow brings. Joining the club, Becca rolls over. Pulls the quilt up to her chin. Tries to quiet her mind. Instead, she thinks about Margaret. About a woman who died at 25. Who spent her last months forgiving a man who didn't deserve it. Who asked Shirley to pass along that forgiveness even though she knew it would hurt. What kind of strength does that take? What kind of love? Becca doesn't know. Doesn't know if she'll ever know. But maybe that's the point. Maybe the whole impossible task isn't about Kenneth at all. Maybe it's about Becca learning that forgiveness isn't about the person who hurt you. It's about refusing to let that hurt define you. She falls asleep thinking about that. About Margaret's last words. About Shirley's tears hidden behind anger. About Kenneth's trembling hands. About whether any of them can actually do this. Or whether they're all just pretending the wounds aren't still bleeding. Thursday morning arrives with frost and a crisis. Becca wakes at 5:45 to shouting. Shirley's voice, urgent, sharp. She throws off the quilt, runs downstairs. The kitchen is empty. The back door stands open. She sprints outside, barefoot. The grass is frozen. Burns her feet. Shirley kneels in the yard 20 feet from the barn. Kenneth lies on the ground beside her. Not moving, Becca's heart stops. What happened? Found him like this. He tried to chop firewood. Lasted maybe 20 minutes before he collapsed. Becca drops to her knees. Kenneth's skin is gray, clammy. His breathing shallow. Kenneth, can you hear me? His eyes flutter. Don't open. Shirley pulls a glucose monitor from her pocket. Pricks Kenneth's finger. Tests his blood. The meter reads 39, hypoglycemia. Severe. Call 911. Becca runs back inside. Grabs the phone. Dials. Gives the address. Explains the situation. Ambulance is coming. 15 minutes. She runs back outside with blankets. Shirley has Kenneth's head elevated, is forcing orange juice between his lips. Most of it dribbles down his chin, but some gets in. Come on, Kenneth. Swallow. Swallow, he gags. Swallows. A little color returns to his face. Shirley checks his blood sugar again. 47. Better. Not good enough. More juice. Becca runs to get another bottle. When she returns, Kenneth's eyes are open. Unfocused. Confused. Where? You're at the farm. You collapsed. Ambulance is coming, I don't need. Shut up, Shirley snaps. You nearly died chopping my firewood. You're going to the hospital. Kenneth tries to sit up. Fails. I can't afford. I said shut up. The ambulance arrives 12 minutes later, sirens wailing. Red lights flashing across the farmhouse. 2 paramedics jump out. Young, efficient. They check Kenneth's vitals. Start an IV. Load him onto a stretcher. He's diabetic? Type 2. Uncontrolled for years. When did he last eat? Shirley looks at Becca. Becca looks at the ground. Dinner. Night before last. And his insulin? This morning. Regular dose. The paramedic curses under his breath. You can't dose insulin without food. Blood sugar crashes. This is what happens. They load Kenneth into the ambulance. Which hospital? Hartley Regional. 15 miles north. We know it. You family? Shirley nods. I'm his mother. You can ride with us. Shirley climbs in. Looks at Becca through the open door. Follow in your truck. Meet us there. The doors slam. The ambulance pulls away. Becca stands in the driveway, barefoot, wearing pajama pants and a t-shirt, watching the ambulance disappear down County Road 47. She runs inside, throws on jeans, boots, grabs her keys, drives 15 miles. She makes it in 11 minutes. Parks crooked. Runs into the emergency room. Shirley sits in the waiting area, alone, staring at nothing. Where is he? Exam room 3. They're stabilizing him. Becca sits. They wait. 20 minutes pass. 30. 40. A doctor emerges. Young, tired. Wearing scrubs covered in coffee stains. Morrison family? They stand. That's us. Your son is stable. Blood sugar is back up to 87. We're keeping him for observation, but he'll be okay. Relief floods through Becca. She didn't realize how tense she was until her shoulders drop. Shirley doesn't move. What else? The doctor hesitates. What else? What? You said he's stable. You didn't say he's fine. What else? The doctor sighs. His A1C is 11.2. That's dangerously high. His kidneys are showing early signs of damage. Blood pressure is 168/94. He's severely malnourished. And based on the medication bottles we found in his bag, he's been rationing insulin. Rationing? Taking half doses, skipping doses, trying to make his prescriptions last longer because he can't afford refills. Shirley's face goes hard. How bad is it? Bad. If he continues like this, he's looking at kidney failure within 2 years. Possible heart attack, stroke, blindness. Any combination of the above. What does he need? Proper medication, consistent meals, regular monitoring, and probably dialysis within the next year if we can't get his numbers under control. Cost? The doctor pulls out a tablet, scrolls through something. Insulin alone is about $400 a month. Add blood pressure meds, cholesterol meds, dialysis prep. You're looking at $600 to $800 monthly. That's with insurance. Without insurance, he pauses. I don't know how he's still alive. Shirley nods once. He'll have insurance, and medication, and whatever else he needs. Ma'am, I don't think you understand the cost. I understand perfectly. Do what needs to be done. The doctor blinks, processes, nods. Okay, I'll get the social worker. We'll set up a payment plan and no payment plan. I'll pay cash. Today, cash? Cash. The doctor looks between Shirley and Becca, trying to reconcile the woman in worn overalls with someone who can drop thousands of dollars without blinking. I'll get the paperwork started. He walks away, confused. Shirley sits back down. He's an idiot. Who? The doctor? Kenneth. Rationing insulin. Skipping meals. Trying to tough it out like suffering makes you noble. He didn't have money. Then he should have asked for help. Would you have helped? If he'd called 2 years ago? Shirley doesn't answer. Because they both know the answer is no. They're allowed to see Kenneth an hour later. He's in a regular room now, not ICU. But close, he lies in the bed looking small, fragile IV in his arm. Monitor beeping steadily. Shirley walks in first. Becca follows. Kenneth opens his eyes. Mom, you're an idiot, I know. You could have died, I know. On my firewood. Kenneth almost smiles. Would have been poetic. Shikata salts a chair out of the bedside. Sits. The doctor says you're rationing insulin. Kenneth looks away. It's expensive. So is dying. Can't afford both. You won't have to. I'm covering your medical bills. All of them. Kenneth's head snaps toward her. No, yes, I can't let you. You don't have a choice. You're my son. You're sick. I have money. That's the end of the discussion, Mom. The end. Silence. Kenneth stares at the ceiling. Jaw tight. I don't deserve this. No, you don't. But Margaret would have wanted me to help you. And I'm done disappointing her. Kenneth's eyes fill with tears. He blinks them back. Thank you. Shirley stands. Don't thank me. Just don't die. I didn't drag you back here to bury you. She walks out. Leaves Becca alone with Kenneth. He looks at her. Your grandmother is terrifying. You keep saying that, because it keeps being true. Becca sits in the chair, Shirley vacated. You scared us. Didn't mean to. Your blood sugar was 39. You could have seized. Could have gone into a coma, I know. I'm sorry. Why didn't you eat? Forgot. How do you forget to eat? When you've spent 20 years skipping meals to save money, it becomes habit. The admission lands heavy. You're that broke? I make $1,500 a month. Rent is $800. Medication is $400. That leaves $300 for everything else. Food, transportation, utilities. You do the math. Becca does the math. It doesn't add up to a sustainable life, so you just go without. You do what you have to do. And now, what happens when you're stable enough to leave? Kenneth looks away. I don't know. Probably keep limping along until my body gives out. Probably die alone in that apartment and nobody finds me for a week. That's bleak. That's reality. Becca leans forward. Or, you could stay here. In Hartley. With Shirley. Let her help you get healthy. Kenneth turns his head. She doesn't want me here. She just paid your medical bills, out of obligation. Not love. You don't know that. I know her. She's doing this because it's the right thing to do. Not because she's forgiven me. Maybe that's enough. For now, Kenneth closes his eyes. I'm tired. I'll let you sleep. Becca stands. Walks to the door. Becca, she stops. Thank you for not letting me die on your grandmother's lawn. Don't thank me yet. She's going to make you work for it. She leaves. Finds Shirley in the cafeteria, drinking bad coffee, staring at a bill that runs 3 pages long. Becca sits. How much? 18,000. For 1 day. Are you really paying it? Already did. Wired the money from the trust. Shirley folds the bill, slides it into her pocket. He's staying. He doesn't think you want him to. What I want doesn't matter. He's sick. He needs help. We're helping. For how long? Shirley looks at her. As long as it takes. Kenneth is released Saturday afternoon. Shirley brings him back to the farm. Not to the barn. To the guest room upstairs. With real furniture. Real heat. A door that locks. Becca watches this unfold from her own doorway. Watches Shirley bring up blankets. Pillows. A lamp from the storage shed. You need anything else? Kenneth stands in the middle of the room looking lost. This is too much. It's a room. With a bed. Don't make it more complicated than it is. She leaves. Kenneth sits on the edge of the bed. Becca lingers in the hallway. You okay? I don't know what I am. Alive is a good start. He almost smiles. Yeah, I guess it is. The next 10 days fall into a rhythm. Kenneth wakes at 6 a.m., takes his medication. Eats breakfast with Shirley. Real breakfast. Eggs, toast, protein, carbs. Balanced meals. Becca comes by every afternoon after her shift at the diner. Brings food, checks on Kenneth. Makes sure he's eating. Taking his medication. Not trying to work himself to death. They don't talk much. Just exist in the same space. 2 strangers learning to be something else. Shirley announces the town meeting for the following Sunday. 10 days away. She calls Reverend Patricia, posts notices at the diner, the grocery store, the library, word spreads. Of course it does. This is Hartley. Kenneth will apologize. Publicly, in front of everyone. Some people are curious, some are angry, some just want to watch. Kenneth grows quieter as the date approaches. Eats less, sleeps worse. Becca finds him on the porch Thursday night, just sitting, staring at nothing. You don't have to do this. Yes, I do. You could leave. Go back to Chicago and prove everyone right that I'm a coward who runs when things get hard. You already did that once. Kenneth flinches. I know, which is why I can't do it again. Becca sits beside him. What are you going to say? The truth. All of it. No excuses. What if they don't accept it? That's not my concern. I'm not apologizing to earn forgiveness. I'm apologizing because I owe it. The words sound familiar. Like something Shirley said. Like Kenneth is finally learning the lessons his mother tried to teach him 20 years ago. Are you scared? Terrified. Good. That means it matters. They sit in silence, just whine through bare branches and distant sounds of cattle from the neighbor's farm. Becca, yeah? I'm glad you're here. I know I don't deserve your time, but I'm glad anyway. Becca doesn't respond, just sits with him until the cold drives them inside. Saturday. 1 day before the meeting, Shirley spends the morning at the community hall, arranging chairs, testing the microphone, making sure everything is ready. Becca helps. They work in silence, moving furniture, sweeping floors, 200 chairs, podium at the front. Simple. Clean. You think people will come? Shirley doesn't look up. They'll come. People love a spectacle. Is that what this is? A spectacle? It's whatever it needs to be. They finish by noon. Drive back to the farm. Kenneth is in the kitchen making lunch. Soup. Sandwiches. His hands shake as he cuts bread, but he doesn't stop. Sit, both of you. I'm cooking. Shirley raises an eyebrow but doesn't argue. They sit. Kenneth serves. The soup is good. Better than good. He's been watching cooking videos online. Learning to make real meals. Where did you learn this? YouTube. Turns out, there's a lot you can learn when you're not working 80 hours a week. They eat. Don't talk much. Just the scrape of spoons against bowls. After lunch, Kenneth clears the table. I want to practice. Practice what? The apology. What I'm going to say tomorrow. I need to practice. Shirley leans back. Go ahead. Kenneth stands at the head of the table. Like it's a podium. Like they're the crowd. He takes a breath. My name is Kenneth Morrison. 20 years ago, I left this town. Left my wife Margaret. Left my 2-year-old daughter Becca. I told myself I was going to build something better. Make something of my life. His voice wavers. He steadies it. I failed. Failed at business. Failed at marriage. Failed at being a father. And when Margaret got sick, when she was dying, I didn't come back. Told myself I couldn't face it. But the truth is I was just a coward. Tears streamed down his face. He doesn't wipe them. I can't undo 20 years. Can't bring Margaret back. Can't give Becca the father she deserved. All I can do is stand here and tell you I know what I did. And I'm sorry. He sits down. Wipes his eyes with the back of his hand. Shirley watches him. Expression unreadable. Too short. Kenneth looks up. What? Too short. People are coming to hear details. They want to know why. They want to know what you learned. They want to understand how someone could be stupid enough to leave everything for nothing. Kenneth flinches. I don't know if I can. You can. You will. Tomorrow you're going to stand up there and you're going to tell the whole truth. Not the sanitized version. The real one. Why? Why do they need to know? Because anything less is another lie. And you've told enough of those. Kenneth nods. Defeated Becca watches this exchange. Sees her grandmother breaking her son down. Rebuilding him. Teaching him the hard way. The only way Shirley Morrison knows how. Sunday morning arrives clear and cold. Becca wakes early. Can't sleep. She dresses. Walks downstairs. Kenneth is already up, sitting at the kitchen table, wearing the only suit he owns. Dark blue. Slightly too big, like he's lost weight since he bought it. You look nice. He glances up. I look like a pallbearer. Better than looking like yourself. He almost smiles. Shirley comes down 10 minutes later. Wearing a dress Becca has never seen before. Dark green. Simple. Elegant. You ready? Kenneth stands. No, good. Fear keeps you honest. They pile into Shirley's truck. The drive to town takes 15 minutes. Feels like hours. The community hall parking lot is already half full. Cars from all over the county. People filing inside, curious, judgmental, ready for a show. They park. Don't get out right away. Just sit. Last chance, Shirley says. You can still leave. Kenneth shakes his head. I'm done running. They walk inside together. The hall is packed. Every chair filled. People standing along the walls, whispering. Pointing, Becca sees Christopher Blake near the back, Nicole from the diner, Linda, Reverend Patricia in the front row, Mrs. Henderson, Mr. Yates. The entire town, everyone who remembers Kenneth, everyone who remembers Margaret, everyone who watched Becca grow up without a father. They take their seats, front row. Shirley on one side, Becca on the other. Kenneth in the middle. At 7:00 p.m. exactly, Shirley stands, walks to the podium. The room goes silent. Thank you all for coming. Her voice is steady, strong, fills the room. Most of you know me, know my family, know what happened 20 years ago when my son left his wife and daughter. Murmurs ripple through the crowd. Kenneth came back. He has things to say, things you should hear. After he speaks, you can respond or not. That's your choice. But you'll listen first. She steps aside, gestures to Kenneth. He stands from the front row, walks to the podium, looks out at 200 faces, some sympathetic, some hostile, some blank. Becca sits in the second row. Watches her father prepare to dismantle himself in public. Kenneth grips the podium. His fingers are pale against the wood. My name is Kenneth Morrison. 20 years ago I left Hartley. Left my wife Margaret. Left my 2-year-old daughter Becca. His voice cracks. He clears his throat. Continues. I told myself I was going to Chicago to build something. To make money. To prove to my mother that I didn't need this farm or this town or this life. He pauses. Looks at Shirley. I was wrong. About all of it. Someone in the back coughs. The sound echoes. I went to Chicago and I failed. Lost every dollar I invested. Couldn't find steady work. Lived in cheap apartments with roommates I hated. And when Margaret got sick, when my mother called and told me my wife was dying, I said I couldn't come back. Said I was in the middle of something important. His hands shake. But I wasn't. I was just ashamed. Too ashamed to face what I'd done. Too proud to admit I'd failed. He wipes his eyes. Margaret died asking my mother to tell me she forgave me. My mother did. Then she hung up. Because I didn't deserve to hear anything else. Kenneth's voice breaks completely. He stops. Breathes. Forces himself to continue. I spent 20 years telling myself I made the right choice. That Becca was better off without me. That I was sparing her the burden of my failure. He looks at Becca, but I wasn't sparing her anything. I was just a coward. Too weak to face what I'd done. Too selfish to try to make it right. Tears stream down his face. He doesn't wipe them anymore. Just lets them fall. I came back because I'm dying. Diabetes, kidney damage, heart problems. I've got maybe 5 years if I'm lucky. And I realized I didn't want to die the way I lived. Alone, ashamed, pretending my family didn't exist. He grips the podium harder. I can't undo 20 years. Can't bring Margaret back. Can't be the father Becca needed. All I can do is stand here and tell you the truth. I failed, I'm sorry, and I don't expect forgiveness. I just need you to know that I know what I did. And it's haunted me every single day. Silence. Complete. Suffocating. Kenneth steps back from the podium. Shirley doesn't move. The room waits, then someone stands. Back row. Linda Martinez from the diner. I remember Margaret. Sweet girl. Worked hard. Loved her family. Didn't deserve what you did to her. Kenneth nods. You're right. She didn't. Another person stands. Mr. Scott Thompson. Owned the garage where Kenneth worked construction. You were a good worker. Then you weren't. Just stopped showing up. Left me short-handed for 6 months. I'm sorry. More people stand. One by one, each with a memory. Each with a grievance. The Henderson family. Their son died in a car accident in 2008. Couldn't afford the funeral. Nicole Torres. Kenneth used to buy coffee from her mother's shop. Stopped coming in the day before he left town. Never said goodbye. Each person speaks. Kenneth takes it all. Doesn't defend. Doesn't argue. Just accepts. Until someone in the middle stands. Old man. 85. Farmer. Becca doesn't know his name. Kenneth Morrison. Kenneth looks up. You probably don't remember me. Harold Henderson. My boy. Different Henderson family. No relation to the others. My boy needed surgery back in 2005. Appendix burst. $8,000. Insurance denied the claim. Kenneth's face is blank. He doesn't remember. You showed up at my house 3 days before you left town. Had an envelope. Cash. All $8,000. Said, pay it forward. Then you left. I never got to thank you. The room goes still. Kenneth blinks. Memory filtering back. I forgot about that. I didn't. You saved my boy's life. You were a good man who made one terrible choice. Don't let that choice erase all the good you did before you left. Harold sits down. The energy in the room shifts. Not forgiveness. Not quite. But something softer. Reverend Patricia stands. Kenneth Morrison. You hurt a lot of people. Hurt them badly. But you came back. That takes courage. Not a lot. But some. She looks at Shirley. The question is what happens now. Does he stay? Does he try to make amends? Or is this just a one-time confession before he disappears again? All eyes turn to Shirley. She stands. Walks to the podium. Stands next to her son. Kenneth will stay in Hartley. He'll work. Contribute. Try to earn back what he lost. And when he dies, which according to his doctors won't be long, he'll die here, with family. Not alone, the room processes this. Shirley continues. I'm not asking you to forgive him. I'm asking you to let him try. Let him prove he's worth a second chance. And if he fails when he fails, you can say you saw it coming. She looks at Kenneth. But if he succeeds, if he actually becomes the man he should have been 20 years ago, then maybe we all learn something about grace. Becca watches her grandmother, sees something she's never seen before, hope, buried under anger, under hurt, under 2 decades of resentment. But there, flickering, fragile, the meeting begins to break up. People stand. Some approach Kenneth, some shake his hand, some just stare. Becca stays in her seat. Watching Christopher Blake approaches. That was something. That's one word for it. Is he really staying? Looks like it. Christopher nods, for what it's worth. I think what Shirley's doing is remarkable. Giving him a chance after everything. She's not doing it for him. She's doing it for herself. Either way, it's brave. He walks away. Becca stands. Looks for Kenneth. He's surrounded. People asking questions, offering support, or just curious. Harold Henderson shakes his hand. Says something Becca can't hear. Kenneth nods. Wipes his eyes again. Walks out outside. Needs air. Needs space. The parking lot is cold. Clear. Stars visible despite the streetlights. She pulls out her phone. Opens her messages. Scrolls to Shirley's name. The conditions document. She screenshots it. Looks at the list 1. Graduate from Hartley Community College with minimum 3.0 GPA. Fee 2. Demonstrate financial independence for minimum 24 consecutive months. 3. Maintain employment without drawing from trust funds. 4. Locate Kenneth Morrison. 5. Bring Kenneth Morrison to Hartley, Nebraska. 6. Witness Kenneth Morrison apologize publicly to Shirley Morrison. All 6. Complete. The door behind her opens. Kenneth walks out. Alone, he sees Becca. Stops. You okay? I should be asking you that. He pauses. I don't know what I am. Becca walks closer. You did good in there. I told the truth. That's not the same as good. It's a start. Kenneth looks at the stars. Harold Henderson. I really had forgotten about that. About helping him, but you did help. Once. 20 years ago. One good thing doesn't cancel out 20 years of bad, no. But it proves you're not just the man who left. You're also the man who helped, who cared, who tried. Kenneth looks at her. You think that matters? Becca takes a breath, lets it out slow, I think. She stops, starts again. I think you can't undo the past, but you can stop letting it poison the future, the words hanging between them. True. Hard, honest. Kenneth's eyes fill with tears. I don't deserve your forgiveness. No, you don't. But I'm tired of carrying the anger, tired of wondering what you're like, tired of hating someone I don't even know. She steps closer. I'm not ready to forgive you, not all the way, but I'm willing to try, if you're willing to stay, to actually be here. Not just physically, actually here. Kenneth nods. Can't speak. Becca opens her arms. Kenneth steps forward. She hugs him. First time in 20 years. First physical contact since she was 2 years old. He's thinner than she expected. Frailer, but solid, real, here. Kenneth wraps his arms around her, holds on. I'm staying, he whispers, I promise. I'm staying. They stand in the parking lot. Father and daughter. Strangers becoming something else. Monday morning, Shirley calls Becca to the kitchen. Sit. Becca sits. Shirley slides papers across the table. Transfer documents. For the trust. You completed all 6 conditions. The money is yours. Becca stares at the papers. Legal language. Dense. Binding at the bottom. Signature line. What if I'm not ready? Then don't sign. But the option is there. Becca picks up the pen. Reads through the documents one more time. Everything she's worked for. Everything Shirley demanded. All 6 impossible tasks complete. She signs. Rebecca Ann Morrison. Shirley countersigns. Dates. Notarizes with her traveling notary stamp. Done. As of today, you control the Morrison Family Trust. $11,247,382.19. The words don't feel real. Becca stares at the papers. What do I do now? Whatever you want. That's the point. What if I don't know what I want? Shirley smiles. Small. Sad. Then you're exactly where you should be. 22 and lost. Figure it out as you go.
Will you help me?
When you ask. Not before. Becca folds the papers. Slides them into her pocket. $11 million. Hers. Free and clear. She could leave Hartley. Go anywhere. Do anything. Never work another shift at the diner. Never worry about money again. But leaving means leaving Shirley. Leaving Kenneth. Leaving the only place she's ever called home. And maybe that's the real test. Not whether she can find her father. Not whether she can forgive him. Whether she can choose to stay when she finally has the freedom to go. 3 months pass. Kenneth stays. Works the farm with Shirley. Light duty. Nothing that will trigger another collapse. But honest work. Useful work. His health stabilizes. Medication regulated. Meals consistent. Blood sugar under control. He gains 15 pounds. Color returns to his face. Becca finishes her degree. Associates in accounting. 3.4 GPA. Walks across the stage at graduation. Shirley and Kenneth sit in the audience. Clap when her name is called. First time Kenneth has seen his daughter graduate anything. She takes a job as community center treasurer. New position. Created specifically for her. Salary paid from the trust. Because Becca has decided what to do with the money. Not all of it. Just $2 million. She's building the Margaret Morrison Community Center. Breaking ground in May. Completion scheduled for next spring, named after her mother. Funded by her inheritance. Managed by her family. Kenneth will oversee construction. Shirley will handle land permissions. Becca will manage finances. 3 generations. Working together. Building something that lasts. Christopher Blake volunteers as financial advisor. Pro bono. Still trying to make up for his first impression. Becca lets him. Because second chances shouldn't just be for family. On a Tuesday in late February, Becca drives to the cemetery. Parks. Walks to Margaret's grave, same granite marker. Same simple inscription. She sits in the dead grass. Still brown, but softer now. Spring is coming. Hi, Mom. The words come easier now. Kenneth is still here. 3 months, hasn't left, hasn't run. I don't know if he'll stay forever, but he's here now. That's something. Wind picks up. Warmer than before. We're building a community center. With your name on it. Shirley's money, my management, Kenneth's work, the whole family. Together, Becca traces the letters on the headstone. Beloved wife and mother, I don't know if you can hear me. Don't know if you're watching. But if you are, I want you to know I'm trying. Trying to forgive, trying to build, trying to be someone you'd be proud of. She stands. Brushes dirt from her jeans. I'll come back. Tell you how it's going. If we survive, she walks back to her truck. Drives to the farm. Shirley and Kenneth are on the porch. Drinking coffee. Not talking, just existing in the same space. Becca parks, climbs the steps, sits in the third chair, the one Margaret used to sit in. They sit together, watching the fields, watching spring approach. 3 people. Broken, healing, learning that forgiveness isn't something you give all at once. It's something you give in pieces, day by day, breath by breath, until one day you realize the weight is lighter, and you can finally breathe. Becca pulls out her phone, opens her notes app, types Morrison Family Projects, Margaret Morrison Community Center, groundbreaking May 15 scholarship fund for Hartley Community College students, $500 endowment medical assistance fund for low-income families, $300 K annual budget. She shows the list to Shirley. What do you think? Shirley reads it, nods. Your mother would approve. What about you? I think you're finally understanding what money is for. Kenneth leans over, reads the list. Can I help? Becca looks at him. This man who left her, who came back, who's trying, yeah. You can help, he smiles. Small, genuine. They sit together until the sun sets, until the temperature drops, until Shirley announces dinner is ready. They go inside, set the table, eat together, family, imperfect, fractured, but together, and sometimes that's enough, sometimes that's everything. 6 months later. September, the Margaret Morrison Community Center opens its doors one cutting at 10 a.m. The whole town attends. Shirley speaks. Brief, direct. This building carries my daughter-in-law's name, Margaret Morrison, who died too young, who forgave when she had every right to hold a grudge, who taught us that grace isn't earned, it's given by people strong enough to carry the weight of someone else's mistakes. Kenneth stands beside her, healthy, present, alive. Becca cuts the ribbon, doors open, people flood in. The main hall fills with laughter, children, life. Becca stands in the corner, watching. Christopher Blake approaches. You did it, we did it, fair point. He hands her an envelope. What's this? Donation. From First Nebraska Bank. $10,000 for the scholarship fund. Becca opens the envelope. Check inside. You didn't have to do this, I know. But sometimes people surprise you. He walks away. Becca looks at the check, at the room full of people, at her family standing by the entrance greeting everyone who walks in. Her phone buzzes. Text from Nicole. This is amazing. Your mom would be so proud. Becca types back, I hope so. She tucks the check into her pocket, walks to join her family. Shirley sees her coming, makes room. Kenneth hands her a cup of coffee. They stand together, watching their town come home. 3 people. 3 generations. Broken, healed, whole, and finally free.